Hello everyone, I'm Paul McGuire Grimes. The ghosts of the past are back to haunt in Ghostbusters Afterlife. It will be in theaters November 19th, and I want to talk about it. This is Paul's trip to the movies. It's been 37 years since the Ghostbusters saved New York City back in 1984. And since then, the group has disbanded, and Egon Spengler left his family and moved to an old farmhouse in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. His daughter Callie, played by Carrie Coon, and his grandkids Phoebe and Trevor are left to take care of his old farmhouse after he passes away. They learn that he was quite the eccentric one, who everyone referred to as the dirt farmer. Phoebe, played by McKenna, follows in her grandfather's footsteps as she loves learning and is wickedly smart. She finds one of his old ghost traps in the floorboards, and curiosity gets the best of her new friend, and her teacher, played by Paul Rudd, when the three of them open it up, unleashing a ghost onto this small, quiet town. The film also stars Finn Wolfhard and Logan Kim, and it's no spoiler to state that the original Ghostbusters, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and Ernie Hudson, are also back. Ghostbusters Afterlife is a story about family, both on screen and off, as Jason Reitman is now following in his father's footsteps by writing and directing this new entry. His father, Ivan Reitman, of course, directed the first two films. Now, Ghostbusters Afterlife exists in a time when we can just appreciate and cherish reboots of our childhood, really driving that nostalgic emotion. Now, I don't think that Jason Reitman is trying to say anything new here, but carries on that geeky, comedic tone that the original had. Now, as the film opens, you can hear some of the familiar notes of the score, which then just puts you right back into that frame of mind. It's easy to spot Easter eggs and other callbacks, some of which work better than others. But I never felt like it got too distracted by cameos or classic lines being rehashed. Now, this is the fourth Ghostbusters film, and the first to actually not take place in New York City. And it's a pretty bold choice, as I think that Ghostbusters is just so synonymous with New York, and you can still visit the firehouse in Tribeca today. Now, moving this entry to Oklahoma works to help this film stand out, away from the hustle and bustle of a big city. Jason Reitman really blends his need for a new story while managing to keep it in the timeline and the world that we're familiar with, as he returns to the story of Gozer, the Gatekeeper, and the Keymaster. He wisely takes his time to set up these new characters and the fractured relationship that Callie had with her father before adding in the legacy characters that we're anticipating. Now, the Ghostbusters in this story are actually the kid characters, as they're the ones that believe in science and start to tinker with Egon's old tools, and actually think they actually look like the original old props that have now been weathered and rusted out after a lack of use. McKenna is a riot as young Phoebe. She and Paul Rudd are just perfect additions to the Ghostbusters universe. Jason Reitman's script with Gil Kenan is clever and full of nerdy puns, as they remember to keep science and the supernatural at the forefront like the original did. And it all comes down to an emotional and endearing ending. Now, the original 1984 film is just so unique that no sequel could ever come close to really replicating that magic. But I think that Ghostbusters fans should still be pleased with Afterlife. Jason Reitman makes it his own film, and actually shows restraint on the nostalgia factor when many other reboots really struggle with that concept. I'm giving Ghostbusters Afterlife 3.5 out of 5 ticket stubs. If you like my review today, click subscribe on my YouTube channel. I got some of the movie reviews, some fun new interviews, so you'll definitely want to check those out. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Paul's Movie Trip, and then go to my website, paulstriptothemovies.com, for even more reviews. Thank you so much for watching my review of Ghostbusters Afterlife. This is Paul's Trip to the Movies.